Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. As always, before I start the video, please remember to give me a like. As always, you guys have been doing a great job recently. Again, you guys have been pushing the likes. If we can get this video over 50 likes, I'll give you guys, the video that I shared with my, or the chart that I shared with my Patreon on crypto and why I think that, um, everybody in my chat has already been, DCAing. Everybody in Patreon has already been DCAing. They already know exactly why they should be DCAing into crypto or should be DCAing into crypto. There's a specific chart that I'm looking at right now that could possibly, I won't talk into it, but this video gets 50 likes. I'll release that. I'll make a video out of, why everybody in my Patreon is so bullish on crypto right now, right? One simple reason. Anyways, we'll look into the SPY today. I did want to talk a little bit about the DXY and why I think this thing is actually going to keep going lower. It's pretty plain and simple. I do think as of right now, this is a daily. Let me get that out of the way. That trend is wrong. Gotta redraw this trend on the DXY. Not really sure why it messes up sometimes, but there you have it. So I did want to start talking, instead of talking about the SPY, I did want to talk about the DXY, and we'll go into Microsoft earnings and all that stuff. But first off, with the dollar, right, and why I'm still technically pretty bearish on the dollar, right? Because we did end up breaking, we ended up breaking minor support, right, or minor trend. We have been on this huge trend, relatively since February, right? This trend goes all the way back to like February. And I think that for this major trend, right? This major trend right here, this longer trend right here, I do think that we're actually going to come back to trend, right? You might actually have maybe a bounce here, maybe. I mean, but it doesn't seem like you're actually going to run too hard to the upside. There is always a chance, because again, you never retested when you broke, right? The DXY never retested when you broke. So you could, in theory, go all the way back up, retest this trend here, 111, 112, and then dump all the way down. But because we actually broke trend to the low side, right? Because we actually broke this trend and have created full bearish candles on the underside of this, I do think we're headed all the way down to 109. So overall, pretty bearish on the DXY for now, right? For now. But I am what is it called? I am still technically, if I'm bearish to DXY going down to like 109, that means I'm bullish on all stocks, right? And basically every single ticker. So as of right now, we do have a weekly, and we're still on a weekly close, right? We're still technically on a weekly bear trigger, weekly cycle on the dollar, right? So I would not be surprised, if next week we come back down to like 109, right? So getting that out of the way, we are at, let's look at the month. The month is looking like we might actually end up closing bearish sometime soon, but we'll get back to that. We'll do that on a different video. Again, it does look like, the dollar is still headed down, right? Again, very slight chance, I think, that you actually have some sort of hard reversal, come back, retest trend, and then you dump from here, right? Overall, I still think DXY is headed back to like the 108, 109 level, down back to major trend, essentially. And it's simply because you broke this minor trend and you're headed down, right? So with that being said, right, that shows weakness in the dollar, which means strength in the stock market, right? But as of right now, it does look like SPY. It's generally trading in this range, right? We did end up pushing a little bit to the upside. It does look like you're doing like a small double top on the 15-minute, and you are starting to sell off towards back to this trend right here. You have a very small trend here. You have a very small trend here, right? That started back on, I think it was yesterday, 1800 hours. So that's like 6 o'clock p.m. PST, my time. So, a small trend here. It does look like you don't want to break this level. You actually hit a high of 384.347, 384.385.47. So you did break a little bit to the high. I don't know if we're actually going to keep pushing to the upside because, the SPY doesn't want to run. The SPY actually wants to drop here. I would not be surprised if this is actually going to be a top for the day. And the reason I say that is because this is something that my Patreon members I talked to them about this yesterday, and we've already found this out. But again, this 8 hour, right? This 8 hour trigger on the bear side. If this thing closes, right, I have to short the shit out of everything because we are technically divergent, right? And by that I mean, let me see if I can find, where's my divergent chart? There we go. So, right, last time we were divergent was when I released my video on 430, right? We were a SPY, I think it was SPY 430, and I said I sold, and I basically released a video that said, hey, I think that SPY is gonna hit like 340, 320 in like the next 2 months. And guess what? It did exactly that, right? I called the top at 430, I sold out of everything, I started shorting the F out of the market. I bought 430 and 420 puts, and you know, long story short, that was a top, right? We're essentially running back to that same divergence, right? We're looking at that same divergence right now. And again, I'm not gonna really go through with it, but again, the way that I trade, or the way that I have my strategy set up, and that's the original way that I've been trading forever, really, because I started trading on Forex, is with divergence, right? And it's been doing, you know, it's been doing ridiculously well for a very long time, and there's no reason for me to fight what it is, right? And divergence essentially is, right, this is a very quick, I shouldn't even be putting this up here because it's just for my Patreon members, but again, divergence, right? You're looking for a third touch on trend, which is what we hit right now, right? You don't do divergence on the second touch, right? Because you don't have a trend. Right now, we technically have a trend right now. We have a trend on this, we consider this like the 4-hour chart, whatever, 8-hour, doesn't matter. So, you know, one, you're divergent on the stochastic, right? You have every single time you've gone up on the stochastic, right? Trend touch, trend touch, trend touch. You have a top on the stoke, and again back here, top on the stoke, right? Third trend touch, you're good. That's already 2 confluences right there, right? The 50 MA under the 200. My 50 MA is this red line right here. The 200 is right there. That's 3 confluences right there, right? And you also have to be at a 0.5 or 0.618 retracement. You're currently at a 0.5 retracement, and you also need market structure, right? You also need market structure. So fibs, get rid of that. Get rid of that, but you need market structure, right? You have market structure here, right there, right? You have market structure, let's see if you have market structure over here, right? You have all this is market structure, right? You have market structure there. You have a small wick market structure there, right? And again, it's just market structure. When I say market structure, it's just a point of, you know, it's a point of decision, right? It's a point of decision. And if you look at here, right, you got a lot of structure here, right? Structure here, market structure here. You have a whole bunch of structure right there, right? It just points of decisions, right? Right now the market's trying to make a decision. You have a lot of, you know, focus on this area, right? So again, 0.5, a lot of market structure to support this move down. And once we have those, you know, enough confluences, then you start doing the actual forecast, right? So as of right now, forecast would be using a trending fib, running it up back to where we set it up, right? So this would be your trade. And this is something that all of my Patreon members should be trading right now, right? So this is exactly what I would take right now. Take this trade, set your stop somewhere there. And again, I'd probably set my stop a little bit above trend, like there probably. Then we have to find more market structure, right? So we set up this is essentially, you know, I'm giving you guys this is free money right here, right? This is basically essentially a free strategy trainer right here. You're looking for market structure, you know, which points in the market where I had the most structure, right? And as of right now, look at this, how this is so easy and simple. Look at that. Market structure. Look at all this. Look at all this. Bam, look at that. So your target now, your target would be here, right? So as of right now, if you were to short this, right, you have a 10-to-1 R2R, so you can potentially make 1,000% off of this if you're trading on Forex or generally anywhere else, right? But target right now would be $320 on the SPX, which is kind of ridiculous, right? And then you actually run a forecast to get a rough idea of how long it takes, right? Look at peak. How long did it take you to hit lows? 21 days. peak. How long did it take you to hit lows? Right? So you dropped $42 on the first drop, $62 on the second drop, right? 9%, 15%, and then you dropped, 29, and then it was in like a $29, 29 days, right? So we've run the same thing now. We'll do whatever. We'll do 29 days just to make sure, but let's do $42 drop. $42 drop would take us around here, 11%, which is not target. What about here? There you go. See, our target would be 323 on the fibs. It's close enough to that 6.2 level. Look at that. It's basically perfect, right? It's essentially perfect, right? You do this, you're essentially, if you drop down to 320, you're dropping another 62 points from here, right? Which is kind of insane to think that you're that close to, to forecast. There's no coincidences in the market, man. There's no coincidences. If I were to guess, I'd say that within a month, right? Let's do this 29 days. 29 days, 16 hours. Let's go. Let's match that, right? 29 days, 16 hours. Boom. Dunzo. So by late November, we could probably see a 320. If this divergence actually plays out, this would be target. Your target would be $323 on the SPY. It would happen by November 24th, which means that if you want to trade this, you would buy like December puts or something for like, $320 or like 330, right? To be like in the money. Or generally anything under here, right? You would buy 380s, whatever, it doesn't matter, but this is target right now. So, do I want to be bullish on SPY? Yes, I do. But we also have that divergence that we can't ignore. And we also have an 8 hour trigger closing in an hour. It's closing at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, if I had to guess, I would short the shit out of this thing, starting today. And I think that today could possibly be another top. And, I did, because the weekly was so strong, right? I did want to like assume that we were going to keep running to the upside and break this trend. But as of right now, I have to take this trade on the short side. So as of right now, I would think that I don't know what target is for today. I don't have a target for today. I'm not focused on today. Because we have divergence, now I got to go back into shorts and see if this plays out. Again, I'm going to have tight stops, probably somewhere like at 389, 390 or so, just to see what happens. But I'm taking the short. And if it all plays out, we should be at like 325, 330 by like late November. So just a heads up of what could possibly happen. As of right now, I am waiting an hour just for this 8 hour close to see what happens. But it's looking pretty grim, and it's looking like we might actually drop down another 60 points in the next, like month and a half or so. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.